What's up, guys? And on today's Unbiased Hard Take, we're going to predict some NFL Week 10 action with the DoorDash competition. That's heating up with JB. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But some formalities to get out of the way. Go like on Facebook and also follow on Spotify. Links to both of those will be in the description down below. So, check out Sports Facts today, all that good stuff. So, also, if you want to check out the Unbiased Hard Take Fantasy Football, also go to our Facebook page. That's starting to heat up. Winner of that actually gets a free Unbiased Hard Take t-shirt. So, that's heating up. Go down, check that out. So, with that, the DoorDash competition with me and JB is really heating up because currently JB standings is 86-52. He'll be posting his short take shortly, so go check out his also and keep an eye out for it. So, I am 92-46, so a 6 difference game lead by me here. I mean, we predicted a lot of games, so really, with all the games we predicted, it's pretty close. So, with that, we'll start with Thursday Night Football. We really have a decent Thursday night game this week. We have Cincinnati at Baltimore. Cincinnati's just kind of, they beat the Raiders, but they beat the Raiders 41-24. I mean, I'm not really super impressed by beating the Raiders. I mean, on top of the fact that they're still outside the wild card picture right now, looking at a cheap Bengals team that's 4-5. I mean, they have a bunch of their stars studded on offense, but they really don't have a lot of those depth players on defense or really on their offensive line, in my opinion. They can't protect Joe Burrow. And they can't really run the ball either. Baltimore, I'm taking Baltimore here. I was wrong last week picking Denver to beat Baltimore. That was my upset of the week. That was a wrong take. That's on me. So I'm not making that mistake twice. Lamar Jackson is looking like an MVP candidate. I mean, he went out there after they lost a game to the Browns the week before that, mind you, and kind of got embarrassed on the defensive end. Went out there and really just battered the Broncos up, who really were playing well coming into this game. So I'm going to take Baltimore here. Derrick Henry over 1,000 yards rushing already. That's insane. So, yeah, give me Baltimore. Then moving on to America's last punishment to the Germans for World War. The New York Giants at the Carolina Panthers. This game is international in Germany. We love international football. That was a nice joke for you guys. So, in the toilet bowl here, I'm taking the Giants here. Yeah, the Panthers did beat the Saints. We'll get into them here in a little bit later. That was impressive. Good to see Bryce Young. I mean, play relatively well. 16 for 26, 171, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Hubbard got in the end zone twice. And Bryce Young will get the start this week. So good to see him have a little big success. It was his first victory formation snaps in his career. So, but I'm not going to pick the Panthers here. They're really inept. I'm picking the Giants. Yes, the Giants are coming off of a loss, but they did play the Commanders pretty well. They only lost by 5 against really a very talented and number 2 seed in the NFC, mind you, right now, Commanders team. So I'm taking the Giants right here. They're just more talented of a football team, in my opinion. Then we move on to the New England Patriots at the Chicago Bears. Now we got some normal football time, 1 p.m. football here. And unfortunately, I'm going to take Chicago over New England. Yeah, Chicago has stumbled a little bit at 4-4 here. But, I mean, New England lost to the freaking Titans, for Christ's sake. In overtime, mind you, and blew it. I mean, the Patriots just really aren't a good football team. They've beaten the Jets. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions for Drake May. He's making them a little bit of a better football team, but I don't understand how you lose to a Titans team with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback right now. So, I'm not impressed with what New England has going on. At least Chicago lost to a respectable Cardinals team who's actually leading that division, mind you. So give me Chicago here, unfortunately. I am rooting against that, though. I'll be wrong on that one. I'm okay with that, if that's the case. So, moving forward to a game that someone's going to walk away with really, truly worried to lose their season about. Because San Francisco goes to Tampa Bay, and both of these teams right now have losing records, are not leading their divisions, and we're supposed to be good playoff teams this year. The Buccaneers coming off of that brutal overtime loss to the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. And San Francisco also having a losing record right now as well. And I almost picked Tampa Bay here because Baker Mayfield's having a great season. He held right in there with Patrick Mahomes. But I'm going to pick San Francisco to win this game. San Francisco's always been big in the regular season in the past. They've been there before. They've been in a few Super Bowls. Their head coach and quarterback have proven they can do it. So I trust San Francisco more in a big spot than I do a Tampa Bay team currently right now. So give me San Francisco. I'm just betting on experience here and gut feeling. Then moving on to the Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs. There's not really a lot to say about this. Here's the spiel I got for the Chiefs so far. There's nothing else to say. Might as well just get in the Super Bowl now, go 17-0, win the playoffs, win every game by 50 points. Travis Kelce gets married, Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift buys the NFL. I don't know. They're dominating the NFL right now. What else is there to say? There's nothing else to say. They're the defending Super Bowl champions and undefeated still. So, that's what I'm going to say every week until they lose. Because there's nothing else to say. They're on a stratosphere of their own. Then moving on to the Buffalo Bills at the Indianapolis Colts, visiting my home state here. And I'm taking Buffalo here. Indianapolis made that move to bench Anthony Richardson for his, in my opinion, for his tired comment. Which I get it. You would lose the locker room, in my opinion, if you did not do that. Even though I do understand the lack of playing time he has received. And I was high on him coming out. He's still a good prospect. I hope maybe he can learn from this and move forward. It's happened before with Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith, players like that. So hopefully he can have a similar story to that, because I was high on him coming out of college. But they put Joe Flacco in there in hopes that he would be the kind of the adult quarterback, the guy that's been there before, and their offense almost looked worse. On Sunday Night Football on primetime in front of the whole world against the Vikings, they scored 13 points, 2 field goals, and a defensive touchdown. Their offense was inept. So I wonder, a lot of people are saying, do they go back to Anthony Richardson's? How do you? How do you? You're going to hurt the kid's confidence. I worry about that. So, yeah, give me Buffalo here. They're just a stable organization. Josh Allen's protecting the ball this year. 3 interceptions only on the year right now. So, you give me Buffalo here. They're really playing good football right now. Then we're moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Washington Commanders. JB's not here for me to pester him with that this week, but I'm sure he'll be listening. So that's what matters. So, I actually initially had Washington in this game because they are playing great football, but they still are a relatively young team. They did underperform, in my opinion, against the Giants. Jaden Daniels has been nicked up a little bit. He hasn't really missed much action, but he has been nicked up a little bit. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh here. Their defense is playing absolutely outstanding football, and Pittsburgh, again, kind of like last year, not a sexy football team at all. Not want to make a lot of your highlight reels, your Sports Center top 10s. Not want to make a lot of that type of stuff, but they're playing good football. They're coming off of that bye week and that Monday Night Football win against the Giants. So they're playing good football coming off that bye. I think they're going to be feeling pretty good. And Washington just had to play a divisional opponent that played them well with the Giants. So give me Pittsburgh here based on experience. Their coach has been there before. That type of thing again. Experience and really talent-wise too. Then moving on to the Minnesota Vikings at the Jacksonville Jaguars. And there's really no doubt here in my mind. Minnesota is absolutely the better team. They bounced back Minnesota, getting that 21-13 victory over the Colts on Sunday Night Football. They look better again. The NFC North is that best division of football. All 4 teams are competing really hard in that division, and it's going to come down to the wire. And that's ultimately what you want to see. It makes for good football. So I'm going to take Minnesota here. Jacksonville just really has disappointed this season. There's not really much else to say. They're just Trevor Lawrence puts good stats out there at times, but they're not winning football games. Trevor Lawrence came off of a 169-yard game, 2 interceptions, 16 for 31. All that money they gave him. Saquon Barkley, he's coming for revenge. 159, 1 touchdown. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, a great duo. Jalen Hurts playing great football. Eagles are a good team. The Jacksonville's just not. They're just, oh my. Hear that, y'all? Getting highlight reels in the background. Not bad, y'all. So with that, I don't trust Jacksonville in a good spot. That was actually the great play there was a Trevor Lawrence interception play. Of course, he had 2 of them. So I just don't trust him. So yeah, give me the Vikings here. Unfortunately, I'm also rooting against that, but we'll see. We'll see. I just think Minnesota is just a truly good football team, but for Green Bay's sake, hopefully not. Moving on here to the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. I really don't have anything for New Orleans at this point. I mean, they just lost to the freaking Panthers and Bryce Young, for Christ's sake. So, really, New Orleans has been inept. And Derek Carr came back. And that's really the most embarrassing part of all of it. They had their quarterback back. There's no excuse to lose the Panthers. So I'm not picking New Orleans again. Give me Atlanta. They're the right pick to win this division. They just beat Tampa Bay. Atlanta's playing good football right now, guys. So yeah, give me the Falcons. I think ultimately they're going to end up getting a home playoff game. I really, truly do believe that. So moving on to the Tennessee Titans, coming off that big win against New England, at the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm not taking the bait. I just don't trust Tennessee here. Mason Rudolph's playing their starting quarterbacks out. They barely beat New England. They did beat them. I'm not hating at all, but the Chargers are the better football team. They're not very talented on the special player, 7-on-7 type of things, your receiver, your running backs. They don't have all the talent in the world on that, but they do block well. They play good defense. They're good in the trenches. So the Chargers are a tough football team that really needs to focus on receiver, your skill players, things of that nature. So I'm going to take the Chargers here. They still have Justin Herbert. They're not going to go out there and score 30 points against teams this year. The Chargers aren't, but they're going to play respectable football and could be a wild card team coming out, really. You got to kind of watch them in an AFC currently right now. So I'm going to take the Chargers here against really kind of a weak opponent, kind of beat up on a bad team. Get your confidence up, you know what I mean? I think that's a good thing. They got the Chiefs coming up here in a few weeks, so I think it's a good building win. Then moving on to the New York Jets at the Arizona Cardinals. And you know, it would be so tempting to buy into the hype train of the Jets again and go, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers looks like his old self again on Thursday Night Football last week against the Texans, and they have extra rest. And yes, he did. They beat the Texans, who are beaten up, by the way, on primetime football, and they're back. That's what the hype train's going to say. And here's the one curse word I'm allowed per podcast. It's the fucking Jets. They're going to blow it. They always blow it. It's the Jets. I mean, they have an old quarterback. Someone's going to screw it up. I have absolutely no doubt that the Jets will blow it in some capacity. So I'm going to, just on that basis by itself, pick the Cardinals here. Because, mind you, they're leading that division sneakily in the NFC West. So the Cardinals beat up on the Bears, 9 points allowed, 29 points. Cardinals are a good football team. James Conner, top 10 running back in the NFL for sure. Definitely one of the most underrated running backs in the league. I mean, he's on my fantasy team, I would know. Then moving on. Ooh, this is a good NFC matchup. This is a funny one. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys. And that's probably America's game of the week. I don't know that fact. But just looking at the time slots here, things like that would be my bet. And if that's the bet here, that would be hilarious. I'm taking Philadelphia here. Philadelphia's playing good football. Yes, they only beat the Jaguars by 5 points. That was actually like one of the highlight reels that I ended up blurting out to you guys and probably scaring some of y'all's kids. Anyway, but Jalen Hurts, really they've been playing a good sort of college NFL mixture offense. Jalen Hurts doesn't need to throw 40 times a game. He is an athletic quarterback. It's not a weakness. It's not a bad thing. You need to be able to throw, and he can do that. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Saquon Barkley's that dual threat, and they have those 2 outside receivers with Brown and Smith. So they have an outstanding team. I think they're going to win the division this year. So, I mean, it will at least be a wild card team. If Dallas loses this game, Mike McCarthy could be out during the season. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Jerry Jones for a Dallas team. That would be just hilarious to do that on national television and embarrass the Cowboys again. So I'm betting on that. Give me the Eagles. Then moving on to Sunday Night Football is the Detroit Lions at the Houston Texans. And this is actually my Super Bowl preview. This is actually the 2 teams I still think will make the Super Bowl. But I'm taking Detroit in the regular season here. I do understand they don't have Aiden Hutchinson, but he's gone in for the whole season in general. And the fact that currently Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins will end up being back by playoff time, but Stephon Diggs out for the season. So with that fact that they don't even have Nico Collins right now, I kind of worry about their weapons. They only have Tank Dell, who's more of an inside slot guy. He's not really the guy that's going to take top off the defense. So I worry about that right now with Houston in the short term. I think they'll be okay long term, and they're going to win a pretty soft division in the AFC South. So they're going to be fine. This is still my Super Bowl preview, but in the regular season sakes, Give me the Detroit Lions. And then Monday Night Football is the Miami Dolphins at the LA Rams. And the Rams have quietly climbed back into their division race, also only a game out of that currently. And a win here would put them at 500. So we'll see what that division does. That's going to be a fun division to watch this weekend, because obviously the Packers have a bye week. So it's going to be a fun division for me to watch, because Cardinals are 5-4, Rams 4-4, as are the Niners, and Seahawks 4-5. So the Rams have a chance to get above 500 here, and I think they're going to get that opportunity against a Miami team 0-2 since Tua's been back. Tyreek's playing a little bit better. I mean, the offense looks a lot better, but still a 2-6 football team. It looks over for the Dolphins at this point. So I worry about that with Miami. They're just not winning even with Tua back. So I worry about that. So give me the Rams here. They're my pick to win that division. So I'm not going to bail on that currently. So give me the Rams. And bye weeks this week are the Cleveland Browns, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Seattle Seahawks, and as always, our favorite team on this podcast, one of our favorite teams, 1A and 1B with the Steelers, the Green Bay Packers have a bye week this week, unfortunately. So we're going to be watching a lot of good football this week. Football Thursday night, Sunday morning, so that's going to be very fun. So keep track of me and JB's DoorDash competition. I'm coming for that repeat, JB. JB's coming for revenge. So it's a tight race, 6-point lead by me right now, over 100 games predicted. So I look forward to the rest of this. 8 weeks left. It's crazy to think. So keep an eye out on more of that. With that, we're going to move on a little bit here to the world of college basketball, because the Purdue Boilermakers, the reigning Final Four and second place team, unfortunately, they made the NCAA tournament and lost to UConn. Big Ten champion multiple years now. Purdue Boilermakers raised their Final Four banner at home at Mackey Arena and defeated Texas A&M CC, Christian College for people that don't know that, 90-73. And I did look into that school because I'd never heard of it. It is a Division I school. It's a smaller Division I school. That's typically the teams that they're going to play at this point. And Purdue really, in the first half, really demolished them, outscored them 49-33. I have the numbers right here. Kaufman's going to be our best player, along with Braden Smith, in my opinion, this season. Kaufman with 15-9. Jacobson, the freshman, good to see him with 13-7. He was a presence down low. I was impressed with him. But Braden Smith with a near triple-double, 8 assists. 8 boards, and then 12 and 15 for Braden Smith. So Braden Smith, probably, in my opinion, the best passing point guard in Purdue history, and Lawyer also with 21. I expect him to step up with Zach Edey gone. So Purdue ranked number 14th in the country right now. I think it's a little low in my opinion. Should be about 10 in my opinion. But hey, we'll have a chance to prove that on the court. And the AP voters will have no choice. So Purdue is 1-0 currently as of recording this right now. So excited to see what Purdue does this season moving forward. Again, that's really all I have this week for this week's podcast. So keep an eye out for JB's podcast on his short take coming out on his predictions as well. Again, like on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. We've got over 50 now, almost 100 followers on Facebook. And also give us some love on Spotify. Links to all that good stuff will be in the description down below. Again, that's really all I got. Miami Heat still are a playoff team right now at 500. They got to play. They're playing tonight right now, actually, so we'll have to monitor that as of this recording. So I expect we couldn't hang on against the Kings. They hit that game-winning shot. Disappointing. Got to do better in the third quarter. And that's really all I have. As always, boiler up. Let's go Heat. But most importantly, as always, go Pat, go baby. See y'all next week. Something special coming. Keep tuned.